nice to meet you again here for
Hi,
the
Thomas.
EPA.
Long time no see.
Yes, for the EPA interview. It's a pleasure to have you here. And yeah, looking forward what we will talk in the next 10, 15 minutes together. Maybe I introduce you for those who don't know
Yes,
you,
please.
but I think there are very few. So you were chair of the EPA from 2015 until 2021. And you were always, or you worked always as a prison teacher too, and full times and all subjects since 2019, as you wrote me. Um, and you teach since 1989, so it's a long time already. Yeah?
Makes me so old.
Yeah, no, no, it's not old. It's a lot of experience and expertise.
Yeah, sure, sure,
So
sure.
please tell you a bit more about yourself. Who are you? And what have you been doing since you left the chair of EPA?
Well, thank you, Thomas, and thank you for inviting me. It's been a while since I've been in contact with you and other steering committee members, and it's always a pleasure. And it's good that you conduct these interviews to show other members what's going on, and that everyone can learn from each other. So I'm very happy with this. And who am I? Yeah, I'm I'm Dutch, and I'm a teacher. I'm also a mother and a grandmother, and I'm a lot more. But let's stick to the business part. I'm a teacher in the prison, and when I stopped being the chair of EPA, I sort of needed a break because, as we all know in the steering committee, that being in the steering committee can be very time consuming and it takes a lot of energy. And I sometimes said to friends, it's like having a job on the side, like
Yes.
you have your own job that you get paid for, and then you have a EPA job, and which is good. But I told the Dutch branch that I wanted some time off, and then but gradually they took me back in, and they were in some rough times because people were leaving, and we found other enthusiastic colleagues, and we sort of got it going again, which is very nice to see. And also because with new members coming, you get more energy and different focus, and which is very inspirational. And I have a lot of respect anyway for all people that go into the steering committee of EPA or whatever, because I know uh, how much you have to put in, and of course you get a lot back. You expand your horizon.
Yes.
You grow a network around you, and which can help you in your daily work. It shows you what else is possible because the systems of prison education in each country is so much different, uh,
Yes.
and you can inspire colleagues, and so but it's at a cost because your personal life really um, well, it's demanding, let's say. Like a lot of my spare time was taken up by conferences that went to or meetings that I had, and which was fun for me,
Yeah.
but for my family, they would just have to do with the leftovers.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm back in the National Steering Committee, which is just as inspiring, but it's taking much less time,
Yeah, I suppose
and
so.
that's good.
Yes.
And that's very good. My
Yeah.
experience helps me as well, um, and and the network, and that's good. That's good.
Sure. Okay, let's go to the business, to the real business, the paid business. Uh, how and when did you become a teacher in prison? Okay, I said already in 89, last
Yeah.
century, but how did you become a teacher?
Well, I did my teacher's training in Amsterdam, and one day there was this posted on the wall asking for interns for prison teaching, and I thought, oh, this is different, and I'm always in for something different, so off the beaten track. And I was curious whether it would be working with adults, whether it would be very much different from what I learned during my studies, and whether there would be more time, well, which is a complete disillusion because it's not. we have we have 1 or 2 hours a week for each prisoner, so it's not really something to get wild over. But that I didn't know at the time. And then when I graduated after my internship, um, they asked me back because the teacher I was doing the internship with, she got pregnant, and they needed someone that could step in immediately.
Okay,
And I knew everything in the prison in Amsterdam,
sure.
so it was easy. Oh,
Okay,
and then afterwards, I graduated because yeah,
okay,
then
okay.
yeah,
Thanks to a little baby.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
yeah,
you just mentioned that 1 or 2 hours per prisoner is not that much compared to other countries. You have a lot of expertise. You know a lot of prison education in other countries. What do you appreciate about education in the penal system in Netherlands, and where do you still see some potential? And yeah, maybe these two questions, plus and minuses of the system
yeah.
in the Netherlands.
Well, the good thing is that we are independent teachers, which which makes us prison staff. So we are very well accepted in the system, and we get access to all information. So you're one of the prison staff. And I know that in a lot of countries, people work from their schools, so they are external partners. And during, for example, the COVID period, which was very demanding for all teachers. And I spoke to many colleagues in that time. You remember we had these interviews and the webinars
Yes.
with colleagues all over Europe, and many of them could not enter the prison. And I just kept on working all the time. And there has been a period of, say, 3 months that we could not see them, but we were there in the prison. We could
Yeah.
bring them packages with copied material and with introductions with the Google Translate in their own language, with explanation and instructions. And but this advantage is also the major disadvantage because we're not connected to any official school institution, and so we're not bothered by curricula that we need to follow or inspection that is done from the National Inspectorate. So sometimes I feel like we're just left on our own, and you're your own referee. You can go as far as you want. Of
Yeah.
course, you're sort of monitored on safety and regulation, following regulations. But in terms of being a good teacher, uh, I think it begins with headquarters, where the focus is on safety and on um, like policy,
Yeah.
financial restrictions,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not so much on quality and content. And over the years, that sort of changes every now and then. But there's no one really specialized in education. They have no idea,
Yeah.
and so we do not get informed about developments in regular education. I can try to keep up by myself, but it's sort of like a race that you can never win.
Mhm.
I would like us to be more connected to the official system.
Yeah.
And
So you are employed by the prison then?
yeah, we are
Okay.
employed by the Ministry of Justice.
Okay. Okay.
So I will be there until I retire. So
Yeah.
I'm a civil servant,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
but yeah, and the people that get the how do you say, the portfolio, the in the headquarters that are responsible for education,
Yeah.
they come and go, and most of the time they contact me to find out uh what needs to be done, or not what needs to be done, but what happens in the prisons, because they know about the policy, they can read it,
Yeah,
they know where the prison government wants to go.
yeah.
But what this means for education, that's sometimes not very clear.
Yeah. Okay. So it's I see in Switzerland we are quite in between. We are neither employed by the Ministry of Education nor by the Ministry of Justice. We are integrated in a foundation that's the Swiss Competence Center in Prison and Probation, and we are employed there. But as you
And
said,
who
we are better integrated in the prison system, so we are closer to justice than to education, and we are in the same bias. Let's say we have the advantage of being quite good integrated, but we have the disadvantage not to be connected to the national education system.
so you have the same problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And who is paying you? What ministry?
No,
What
it's this foundation, and it's
foundation?
yeah, this center, Swiss Center for of Expertise in Prison and Probation, is as a legal body. It's a foundation, and it works on the basis of work level agreements, service level agreements. So we get the task to do education in prison, and therefore there is a credit or a budget, and from this budget the center pays our salaries.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. With we are talking about money, and one of the questions in also in the pandemic times was the digitization in the classrooms. Did you improve during and after pandemic, or what
Well,
tools are at the disposal of the teachers?
I must say that in Holland we have a lot of things not quite to my liking, but in terms of internet connections, we do have internet connections in our classrooms, and in almost every prison, like say every prison should have internet connection. The connection is not always very good, and so the quality could improve, but we have programs that are bought nationally, so they were sent to us, so we have licenses that we can use for language methods and such things. And internet is whitelisted, so
Yeah,
we can ask for websites to be included for
yeah,
special courses that people want to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
So there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. Who
Um,
decides about this whitelist? Who is
well, there's a team of
okay?
technicians,
Okay,
teachers. So we look at the necessity and what we've got already and why this is needed for why you cannot use another program instead,
okay.
or that's
Yeah,
already there. And there's this technicians that can see whether our our system can deal
yeah,
with it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then there's safety
yeah,
that is just checking where there's no back doors that have
yeah, yeah,
communication possibilities.
yeah.
So that's sort of taken care of. And of course, that's got its daily problems, but it's there. And I know that we have to count our blessings, because I know that it seems for a lot of my colleagues, it seems that there's a lot of problems, but we have it, and it's sort of it's like working.
Mhm,
And
mhm. It sounds quite open-minded, let's say.
how do you mean open-minded?
Yeah, you know, we are more or less in the same position. And I remember 10 years ago, we had to convince every single prison about that we have a server platform or a learning platform, that it's safe, so there can nothing happen. And really it was a relationship and convincing and talks and meetings, blah blah blah. And nowadays it changed completely. For example, we had just last year we had a question for them if it would be possible that the teacher's computer is connected without limits directly to the internet, and they said yes. So,
Okay.
so we have for the teacher, we have in the classroom, we have internet, open
Yeah,
internet, and
we have that as well.
yeah,
We have for the teachers, they have internet access
yeah,
in the classrooms.
yeah. And
And
10 years ago, that was unthinkable,
yeah,
unthinkable.
we also grew into that. Yeah, I remember that there was a time that we could not even ask for it, but
Yeah, yeah,
now you cannot do without, because there's so many books that are not made printed anymore.
yeah,
Every method for schools is web based, or
yeah,
almost everything. So you need to find material that people can bring to their cells, and so you need a bit of both.
yeah,
Um, and we even recently we got digital black whiteboards, or digital school boards. What do you
yeah,
call them?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So there's we will have some, I think, a laptop connected to it with internet, so we can. I use in my classes, I use the digital board every day, like with Google Translate. So
yeah,
if you know of the growing problem of foreigners, their numbers get bigger and bigger.
yeah.
So I do all the second language teaching classes, and I have my Google Translate at hand to translate it in Tigrinya or Spanish or
Yeah,
Romanian. It doesn't really matter.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
can see if I cannot explain it with my hands and whatever language I've got available.
yeah,
We will get there with, and I can use Google Image to if they don't know what the difference between two birds or
yeah, yeah,
two trees or whatever, two countries, you can show them, and
sure,
it makes it so much more alive. And
sure.
also, it brings us to the 21st century,
Sure.
really.
No, absolutely. No, our teachers say the same. They can maybe they show a short YouTube movie, whatever. So you can really include this in your
Yeah,
preparation for the class, and that's really helpful. So
yeah.
yeah, very well. So go back to the basics. Uh, all the time, new teachers are starting in prison education. What advice would you give to a teacher who is new to the education in prison?
The advice to a new teacher.
Yes.
Okay. I would say check out your fellow teachers, your colleagues, see how they work, talk to them, meet them if you can, go and see how their prisons are, email them, and try to learn as much and see if they are organized, and if you can learn from them, and use EPA platform to see what else is going on in different countries. But don't stay on your own, because there's no real training or education to be a prison teacher.
Yeah.
So your greatest asset is are your colleagues,
Yeah.
and they were all working in this niche area of
Yeah. Yeah.
prison education, and they're the only ones that know
Sure.
what's possible or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have a specific continuous formation for
No, we don't. No,
simple. Yeah.
our colleagues just they have a teacher's training course,
Yeah.
which is about 3 years, and you do your internships
Yeah.
and
Okay. Yeah.
what have you. But most of the time in regular schools, or even in primary school,
Okay. Yeah.
as long as you have
A master.
no, you don't need a master. You don't even need a master. They prefer a master. But with the current unemployment, a lack of sort of not unemployment, with the current lack of people
Teachers.
to
Yeah.
fill all the vacancies,
Yeah.
they they agree to more things. But no one prepares you for prison education.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, once I learned a colleague from Argentina, there you could have a bachelor in prison education.
Yeah, yeah, which is great.
Something we dream of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we think that yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe the last question. What qualities should a teacher have when teaching in prison?
This is a very good question. I
From
think,
your point of view.
yeah, that's. I think it should be a qualified teacher
Yeah.
to keep up the standard of the level of education. And I know in a lot of countries they don't have special teachers; they just have NGOs, which of course in the land of the blind, let there be NGOs, and of course, way to go. But the system would gain by having qualified teachers and a good curriculum. I don't really like our curriculum. I think it's too limited.
Yeah.
But if you can get proper diplomas, but teachers themselves should be driven. They should be enthusiastic. They should be creative, quick thinkers, to be able to switch because you've got maybe a class with eight students and they all do different things at different levels in
Yeah.
different languages.
Yeah.
So um, they should be able to switch between the level of learning from each individual learner, from like maybe uh, illiterate or low literacy person to university, and also help those people and the foreigners, of course. Um, yeah, and then within the prison, you have to respect everyone's job in the prison and to speak with many of them to let them know what your job is about, and so that
Mm.
they understand what you need from them, and the other way around. So yeah,
You
I
have
think
to be an open person who wants to relate to everyone around him.
yeah, and then also be able to stick to your path and to stick to the regulations, because that's important, that you do take care of your safety, and um, with the internet connection that you have. I mean, you don't want to lose it over something silly.
Sure.
And then, with all that in mind, you have to be creative and a quick thinker and etc.
Okay.
So
I
easy,
think yes, many talents we need in prison
multi
education.
talents.
Yeah, multi talents and yeah. So I think that's it for the moment. Thank you very much for
My
giving
pleasure.
us some view in your work and in the Dutch prison education system. Wish you all the best, and yeah, maybe you come to the conference in Norway in June.
I hope I will
Yeah,
be there.
and we met there again.
Yeah,
Okay,
lovely
so
seeing you again.
have a good time and bye bye.
Bye bye.